Did you know that North America has lost nearly 3 billion birds since 1970? When we hear about biodiversity loss, we usually think of the extremely large solutions like restoring prairies, protecting forests, and like changing farming practices. But what if you're a regular person and specifically living in a rental? I'm currently living in a rental and I have a small yard that I can do a little bit, but for the most part, I don't have really any control over the lawn. The grass is maintained by a landscaping company, and so pesticides are used often, and I can't exactly rip everything out and plant a native meadow. So it got me wondering, can something as simple as a bird feeder actually make a difference? So today I'm setting up 2 bird feeders outside of my window, and I'm gonna track what happens over the next couple days. Will they attract more birds? Will they increase more biodiversity I see every day? Or will absolutely nothing happen? Let's find out. Birds are more important than most of us realize. They spread seeds, they help control insect populations. Some species pollinate plants. And because they're so sensitive to changes in the environment, birds are often one of the first signs that an ecosystem is struggling. Unfortunately, many bird populations have been declining for decades. Habitat loss, pesticide use, climate change, window collisions, and declining insect populations have all contributed to fewer birds across North America. Now, I'm not pretending that putting up a couple bird feeders is going to solve biodiversity loss, but I am curious whether a small action can make a measurable difference in this tiny space, especially since this is a rental and my options are limited. Good morning, it is bright and early. I've been so excited to put up our feeders, so we're doing it right away this morning. So I want to show you what I've got. I've got 2 feeders. So right now I have a double shepherd's hook, and then I have this bird feeder that was gifted from my grandpa, which is kind of more like a general feeder, let's say. So I got this food for it, which has seeds, nuts, and fruits, and it should attract buntings, woodpeckers, chickadees, among many others. So I'm gonna fill that one up. And then I do have a second feeder, which I got from Wild Birds. It's this finch feeder. And then with that is this will go on top. It's the weather guard. And then the feed for that is, I'm gonna use, it's this one. It's a very thin, small seed. We should have a really good variety of birds coming to visit. I'm just so excited. Today's a beautiful day. It's been raining this week, and so the sun is finally out today, and let's let the birds have a nice meal, you know? Okay, let's get this set up. I'm so excited. Okay, ready, Clem? Sorry, bug. Okay, ready? We're gonna pour this in there, okay? But don't eat it. It's not for us, it's for the birds, okay? Yeah, for the birds. So let's pour it. We're gonna pour it here. Oh, don't dump it out. You gotta keep it in. Thank you. You hold it still. Does that feel good? Okay, ready? Okay. Ready? You helping me pour? Okay, we got our 2 feeders. The weather guard on that guy. Now, get out, move my shadow. Let's go set up the shepherd's hook. Put it here. Does that look good? My goal isn't necessarily to attract the most birds I can, but I'm more interested to see like how many birds and what type of birds are gonna come. For the next couple days, I'm gonna keep track of every bird I see from the window and which feeder they use. So now all that's left to do is wait. So over the course of the weekend, I saw a variety of birds. However, I did not see as many as I was hoping, but we did see some very beautiful birds. Right away, there's a bunny that came to visit where we first dumped all the seeds. So there's like some seeds left over on that little concrete block and ate those seeds up. And there was a little chipmunk that came. His cheeks were so big, full of the nuts and seeds. It was so cute. About an hour in, no birds had arrived. I was feeling so sad because I've been waiting for this moment. I want the birds to come, you know what I mean? I wanted to see the birds and there were none yet. You just have to be patient. Obviously this is a new setup. This is the first time the birds are seeing it, so you know. Then 2 hours in, the first bird appeared. It was a house finch. So this one is kind of like, has a bit of a brown belly, red head. It is pretty common in this area. So we ended up getting our first bird on the finch feeder. Actually, 2 birds. The feeder's kind of in a shadow, so it was a little bit hard to see exactly like the color of the bird and what they looked like. There was a lot of these yellow birds. So I'm guessing that this one was either, this was possibly a northern yellow warbler, or it was probably an American goldfinch. I suppose finch would make more sense because that is the finch feeder. I'm still working on, you know, my bird identification, so correct me if I'm wrong. And then there were 3 birds at once. Oh my gosh, it was just so exciting. Both feeders this time. So it just feels so good to know that like the birds are starting to see it, they're telling their friends, multiple different types of birds and stuff, you know. There was even a mourning dove I had to make note of just because it was nearby. The next day in the morning I came down and there was nothing. And that made me so sad. I was hoping to wake up to all these birds at the feeder, but there were none. It's okay, but there were a few throughout the day. Again, the one with the red head came, and then there was a super cute birdie on top. And I don't know if maybe you guys can tell a little bit better if you're better, you know, a little more advanced in the birding than me, but well, this one it's kind of hard to tell the colors on my camera, but we for sure got finch. I for sure saw the colors yellow and red, and it wasn't a fully yellow bird and wasn't a fully red bird. So tell me what you guys think this is, because I'm not exactly sure. Throughout the day I just saw pretty much the same type of birds, but not as often as I was hoping. Also, I wasn't like staring out the window the entire day, every second, even every hour. So maybe there's like times when I missed a bunch of birds and whatnot, but it seemed like for the most part this is what it looked like. I even saw a squirrel on top of our feeder, which means I need to get something to prevent the squirrels, but for now, whatever. I haven't seen too many squirrels. Until it becomes a problem, then I'll be like, okay, it's time, you know? So overall, there are 5 birds that I captured. Hopefully these are correct, they could be wrong. Okay, so first, the house finch. Next, northern yellow warbler, mourning dove. We did see that one. That one's a pretty easy one to capture. Song sparrow. I feel like I saw this one often. And then this one I think is that yellow bird, but I don't know, the American goldfinch. Let me know what you think. In the end, can one bird feeder increase backyard biodiversity? In my case, yes, in a very small scale. 2 bird feeders turned a space that I barely paid any attention to into a place where wildlife showed up every day. Now, did it solve biodiversity loss? No, of course not. But one thing that I did learn while making sustainability videos is that meaningful change isn't always about doing the biggest thing possible. Sometimes it's doing just the best thing that's available to you. I may not own this property, and I can't stop lawn treatment, but I can create a small place where birds can find food and where I can connect with the wildlife that's already. And honestly, that's a pretty good place to start. Moving forward, I'd love to see if I can make this place more wildlife friendly and also being rental friendly as well. So let me know what you'd like me to try in the future. Okay, see you next time.